Welcome to the complete Boomi Bootcamp 2026, Episode 6, Disk and SFTP Connector. Our agenda today: set up local runtime, disk connector, set properties, SFTP connector, next steps. Set up local runtime. In order to set up a local runtime, please go to Manage, Runtime Management, New, select Basic Runtime, and for the setup preference, please select Local. Now select the download installer for your operating system. In this case and in this demo, we will select the Windows 64-bit installer. Now we have a look at the security options. To securely install basic runtimes without the use of a username and password, a temporary token may be used. I think we will use this token for installation. So now we generate the token and copy the string. We will use the string later in the installation. Now we start the installation as an administrator. See, also the Java runtime environment is downloaded. Click Next. Now you can give the atom a name. For example, datakun -win-01. And now here you can paste in the token we copied before. Click Next. Select the environment. Click Next. Check the installation folder. Click Next. Click Next. Everything is okay. You can click Next and the atom is installed now. Finish. Now you see on the left side our new runtime appears in our test environment. Currently it's offline. It's indicated by the gray symbol. And if it's online, the symbol will turn blue. The status is then online. Disk connector. Now let's take a look at the disk connector. And for this, I suggest we create a new folder. So new folder, demo disk v2 connector, and there we will create a new process. Give that process a name, demo disk v2 connector. Let's add the disk v2 step or connector. Use the disk v2 connector to read and write from the underlying file system. So we have a connection, we have different actions, for example create, upstart and delete, but for now I think we will create something, some data. So create a new connection, call it demo disk v2 connection, and save it. Enter the directory path where data is written or read. Okay, so let's write some data to the C drive like this: C demo inbound. Save the connection. Now we have a configured connection. Select, edit or create a connector operation. So we create an operation for this. Demo disk v2 connector operation. And I think we will import the operation. So connector action is create per default. Runtime is our Datacun Win01. It's connecting to the runtime. Object type per default is file. It's only file, so we can leave it as it is and connect. Finish. We have a response profile. Create directory if doesn't exist. Yes, we will check this. Include all metadata. Action if file exists. The file should be overwritten if the file already exists. Include all metadata. We will leave it unchecked. And also error behavior. We'll leave it unchecked. Tracking direction. Yeah. Archiving, there's an option. Archive document. Tracking, caching. But I think we are good this way. Save it. Now we have a connector, an operation. I think it's okay. And I think we need a sample message to transfer to the file on the disk. So we'll create a message, give it a name, sample message. The message for now is hello 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let's connect the message to the start step and the disk v2 step. Now we can save it and test this process. Datacun Win01 as runtime. The result, the test run for demo disk v2 connector you are attempting completed. File name is required. Verify that a file name is set. Okay. It means somehow we have to set a file name for this file. But first let me have a stop step here. And I think between the message and the disk v2 step, we need some step, something that will set the file name for us. I'm just checking the connector step if we have an option here to set up the file name. But I think I saw some step that is designed to set up the file name. Set properties step. So let's have a look at the set properties step. Sets values for document and process properties. This sounds good. The set properties step allows you to set values for various document and process properties. These properties can be used to set outbound connector attributes such as file name or email subject. That sounds good. So properties to set. Document property, source type is a connector. So we set up the disk v2, then pops up the file name as a property. Yeah, then we set up the file name. You can also set up the directory. Good. Then we add a value, static value. Static value is sample. Let's make it specific. Data underline datacoon underline sample dot tst. Okay. Let's connect the set properties files. Set property step. Auto arrange. Looks good. Test. My expectation is now that the file is created. So let's check on our server, Windows server, if the file datacoon underline sample txt is actually created in the inbound folder. So here we are on a local disk, C demo, inbound, and there we have our text file. Just quickly open up, check the content, and it's hello 123 exclamation mark as we set it up in the message step. So back to our process. Let me check the connection configuration, or the operation the connection. Here we can let's remove the string, the configuration for the directory, because I want to set the directory here at the set properties step. So I add another property to set, and this time the property should be directory, and here I give it a value, a property value. And I wonder if if the directory should be set before the file name, but obviously you can't modify the order, so I will just set up the directory here as a second property. And this time I will set the outbound folder, just to test if the other this configuration also works. So the file should be written in the outbound folder now. Here I will just quickly modify the message. Now it's a sample message outbound. Save it. Then I will test. And let's have a look at our server. Check if the file is created in the outbound folder. Yeah, should be written to the outbound folder this time. Inbound, outbound, yeah. There's some text file and the text says sample message outbound. So yeah, the file was written into the outbound folder. Let's rename this connector real quick. So this is the create file to disk. Now let's create another disk connector, and this time we will select another action. Let's create get, I think, or list. Let's go for the list action. List files. So this time I have some files in a folder and I just want Boomi or this step to list all the files so that I can see what's inside the folder. So I select the connection that is already there, and I think I have to create another operation. So let's rename this operation. It's the list. I will import the operation and select this runtime. Now, object type this time is directory, which makes sense. So what's this? Popular filters for directory carry on the select one to apply to the operation. File based, file name regx. I think I will set up my own filters. Yeah. So maximum files to return -1 is return, okay, enter -1 to return as many files as possible. Yeah, this looks good. Add logical subgroup, add expression. I think I will go for the add expression. Expression, filter name expression. Choose a field, file name. Yeah. File name, regx match, wildcard match. I think I will go for the wildcard match. I think this is the easiest way to set up this filter name. No, I want the wildcard match. Save. Filter name, field operator. I think we are good to go. Save. Let's go back to our demo disconnector. So we have a connector and operation. And something new, parameters. you may need to set values for all parameters, 0 of one set. Okay, just try which parameter you may need. Import all one, yes. Expression. Static. I think I will go for the asterisk. I think this is the static value we need. Click OK. Here I have the set properties step. I've placed the files in the inbound folder, so I just adjusted this one. And for the file name, I don't think we need this configuration anymore, because we want all the files. Just a directory. So let's take a look again. Static value is asterisk. So basically I want Boomi to fetch all the files that I put in the inbound folder. Okay, let's save and test. No. I think it worked. Let's check what we have here in the step source data. No, these are the JSON files. Seems to be a JSON file with various information: file name, directory, created date. So the list operation gives us some information about the files that are stored in the folder. Let's check again the inbound folder. We have 4 files here. So let's create another disconnector and try an additional action. I think this time we set up the get action. So let's give it a name: get files from disk. And select the connection we already have. Then we create the get operation. Import. Object type is file. That makes sense. Tracking direction. Delete a file after reading. No, I think we will let this unchecked. Fail if unable to delete. So archiving, tracking, caching. I think we are good to go. So save. Then we return back to our demo disconnect connector process. Rearrange the steps, and then again we have one parameter to set. ID, please choose a parameter. There's only one parameter to set. ID, I wonder what is the ID. Maybe it's the file name we have to set up here, but we will see. So static value. Maybe we have to set up the asterisk for this one, so that this action will get all the files. Just let's test it. Step source data. We don't have step source data in the stop step, but in the connector. And here, sample message outbound. Sample message outbound. This seems to be the content of our sample message. Let's check. Is that probability step? It's correct. C demo inbound. There's nothing to configure here. Okay. Test again. See, in the test results, the parameter 1 value is equals asterisk. But yeah, sample message outbound. I'm pretty sure that is our sample message. So our sample message is transported to the disconnector. Yeah. So we disconnect this one. Rearrange, and then we just test again. Let's see what is the test result. Oh, again, we look into the step source data, and it's nothing, it's blank. So we have to figure out how to get the files. Asterisk somehow does not work, and the parameter was ID. Maybe we actually have to pass over the file names to this disconnector. So here only the directory is set. And just to try out, we will set the file name here statically. So asterisk here. We test it again. No, the same result. set up data coon sample txt, static value, so that Boomi should fetch just this one specific file. No, again, fetches nothing. Remove this property. So the property is ID. Input is the ID. An ID, I guess it's the file name. I think we have to pass over the file name to this connector. Let's select the profile JSON and the disk v2 directory list response. I think I will now connect the create or the list files from disk connector to the get files from disk connector. So hopefully I can pass over the results of this list files from disk to the get files from disk. Just test it. No. This is the whole set step source data. Okay. Check the parameters again. It's currently set to static, but I want the file name, so I have to select the profile element. This time it's JSON. I select the list response, and now I can select the element file name so that the file names are passed over. So now we have some results in the stop step. Let's have a look at the stop source state. Sample data 1. Yeah, it seems that it worked. So we have the content of the files as result. And after this I will just quickly check it on the server. Yeah, here we have the stop source state that is coming in, and connection data. Here you see the file names datacoon sample 1 with content sample data 1. Also the directory is displayed here. See, here are the file names, datacoon sample 1, 2, 3, and the datacoon sample. And here we check it on the server. Datakun sample 1, 2, 3, Datakun sample. These files are in the demo inbound folder. Yeah, so great work. I think this worked. This worked fine. Great. But I'm curious now. We have the disk v2 connector, and I think we also have another kind of disk connector, the legacy one. So just rename this our process a little bit so it's more general. It's demo disk connector. And let's create a disk legacy connector. Just curious how this one works. It's going to be configure, display name, demo disk legacy connector. And here we also have a connection and an operation to configure. Demo disk legacy connection. Directory is C demo inbound. And what I try to do is I wanna get the files, all the files, as I did it before in the disk v2 connector. So yes, get disk legacy connector. Oh, here we just have an asterisk as default value for the file filter. File matching type would be wildcards. Maximum files to read is 0 by default. I think 0 means that all files are read. So we just click OK. And the configuration was much easier as of the disk v2. And I just wonder if this configuration will get our files. Just checking the step source data, and it looks good. Sample data 1, sample data 2, I hope. Yeah, seems so. So the legacy disk connector is much easier to configure, much easier for our purpose to get all the files. I think I will also check for the other action, the one that would write the data to the folder. So just rename it, get rid of the strange 2 at the end. Now let's create another connector for the disk legacy, and this time we will go for the other action. There's by default the get action is configured, but we will set up the send action. We have already a connection that we can select. Now we create another operation, the send disk connector operation. create directory if it doesn't exist. Sounds good. Of course, we need the sample message. Quickly modify the message so it's clear that this message is, or this file is from our disk legacy connector. Sample message sent using the disk legacy connector is the message now. When we connect it like this, I think we need the set properties step. Quickly check disk v2. Disk leak. So now I got mixed up. I think I will create an extra set property step, especially for our disk legacy connector. So I will cancel this one. We'll rename that one. Set properties. This was for the disk v2. So I'm safe now, no confusion, and I will create another set property step here, specifically for the database legacy connector. So it's set properties disk legacy. And we set the this legacy is the connector, and we'll set up the directory, and I think I will set up an extra folder. So it's demo, let's call it disk legacy maybe, yeah, disk legacy and inbound. So I will store a file in this specific new folder. File name, we'll set up a file name, and it's called datacoon underline sample underline disk legacy .txt. Now I'll have this all connected like this. Rearrange that one, save that. So now we check the settings for the directory. Here it's cdemo inbound in the demo disk legacy connection. And in the set properties disk legacy, the directory is set to cdemo disk legacy inbound. So which one will be applied? Ultimately, we will find out. Let's check on the server. So you see on the server demo there is just inbound and outbound folder and no other folder. Yeah. So let's test our process. And you can see in the test results the directory cdemo disk legacy inbound was taken. So that means that the set properties property will override what you specified in the disk connection. So here you can clearly see another folder was created. Yeah. And this file was created. SFTP connector. Now we are going to create a new folder for the SFTP connector demonstration. So SFTP connector. So it's the demo SFTP connector. Save. And in this new folder we will create a new process for the demonstration. No data. It's okay. Rename the process. Demo SFTP connector. Save. Create the SFTP legacy connector. Click on configure. Give it a name. SFTP legacy. Create a new connection. Demo SFTP legacy connection. I prepared an SFTP server or host for this. We'll just paste in the host name. Port is 22. Here I paste in the username and the password. These are just the SFTP credentials you have to type in, and obviously you can set up some SSH options, but I think we're good now. Save it. Then the action is get. We will create a new operation. So for remote directory we will use the in demo like this. File filters asterisk. Seems to be easy to configure this operation. Now we create a stop step. Let's test this. Looking into the step source data, and actually we have the sample data 1, that is the content of the files. So this SFTP connector works like a charm. Then let's create another connection. This time we would like to write some or transfer some files to the SFTP server. For we use this connection. Action this time is send. So send FTP or SFTP legacy. This one is always is of course the get action. In here we configure the send action, create a new operation, give it a name, send SFTP. We have the remote directory in demo. Move to directory. Overwrite if file exists. Then I think this, we will leave this blank. Force move. No, we will uncheck this. I think we are good to go. Let's save. Now we have the connection and operation. But I think we need a message, so that we have a file to write to or to send to the SFTP server. Like this, and let's quickly set up some message here. So test message for SFTP server. And we save that one. I think we need a set properties step so that we can give it the file name. Set properties. We've configured this one and set up a file name. SFTP legacy file name. Property is the file name. There it is. Then we have a static value here. Datacoon underline sample underline SFTP dot txt. That's the file name. Okay. We save it. Yeah. Looks okay. Let me quickly check the step source data. That's exactly the message. And we see the remote directory in demo and file name as we set it up, datacoon sample sftp.txt. Looks good. Yeah, that was the SFTP connectors. Next steps. In the next episode, we have the agenda process route, add to cache, retrieve from cache, and remove from cache. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye!